guys, I'm Myles Cutter, and right behind me is the Lewis Cancer and Research Pavilion, and right here is where the journey begins.
Well, initially, when you get the diagnosis, it's devastating and it's really mind-blowing. However, a place like this, the Lewis Cancer Research Pavilion, gives hope. And it has given hope to those that I love, and as a result of that, they're living full, productive lives as a result of the right treatment at the right time. So just because you receive a diagnosis doesn't mean that's the end. It could just very mean that you're just going to go through a transition, and as a result of that, come out better on the other side.
Well, it's very difficult in the beginning to hear that word, the C word that is called, and you get a sense of just overwhelming grief at first, and eventually you come to grips with the diagnosis and you just begin to reach deep inside and rely on your faith and try to be more supportive than scared, and that's very hard, but you try to put your support ahead of your fear and just try to move forward through all the testing, through all the doctor's appointments, and you'll be surprised at the amount of love and compassion and support that comes out of the whole ordeal, and that really makes the journey a bit more tolerable than what you would expect. But again, it comes with a major amount of support, love, and faith in order to survive that particular diagnosis. Again, it's one of those things that you would never imagine. You hear it said and you see so many people with it, but it never hits home until it's your family member, and then it becomes really real.
Well, Myles, it happened to be Teresa. And you know, Teresa is my wife. When we first found out that she actually had breast cancer, it kind of, I don't know, I was just spinning at first. I was just thinking about it. I was like, wow, she actually has breast cancer. And I was like, man. And sometimes when you think of, like most people, the C word, cancer, it just makes you wonder, or the C word just make chills run through your body. But then when it came to her with the breast cancer, it just made me start thinking about Aaron and Madison, you know, her kids, and hoping that whatever it was that it was a cure, or we can do something about it.
So now, since you heard it from the relatives, now it's time to hear it from the patient. The patient has to go through a lot more than the relative does. Although the relative has to go through helping the patient and making sure that they're okay and having the burden to take care of them, the patient also has to take that help and has to do some more stuff in return, such as going to doctor's appointments, being sick most of the time, and going through chemotherapy or radiation, which causes a lot of side effects that many people don't like going through. So you're going to hear it from the patients.
Just from day to day base, it's according to how long, how long it would take for the chemo to get into my body. 3 days, about 3 days I would be down and out. I would be in the bed sick, can't do anything, can't move, just sick. But that fourth day, I rise up, get the feeling better. And as soon as I get the feeling better, it's time to get chemo again. But it changes your life. You just have to roll with it. And it made a difference because the chemo worked. Yeah, the cancer went away. And it went away for about 10 years. And then after 10 years, it returned in my other breast, and I lost that breast. They had to remove it, and I had reconstructive surgery, and that was a major surgery. But it was all right, because after that, I did a little bit more of chemo and radiation, and I was good for another 5, 6 years. I felt really sick. I was scared at first because my mother was a cancer survivor. She had cancer, and I remember taking care of her. And I remember saying, "Ooh, I'm scared of cancer. I never wanted no cancer." But when I found out that I had cancer, it was really scary. But the only thing kept me was I was a Christian then, and I had someone to help me pray for me, and then I was pretty upbeat. I know what I had to do. Well, side effects, like I said, nausea, dry skin, all my hair came out. That's why I wear a low haircut right now, because I didn't have this. Every 3 days I would be, well, like I said, 3 days out of every chemo treatment, I would be sick with, just sick. You just don't feel well. Your body hurt. And then after that, you kind of, you have to fight it, but after that, you come on up out of it. And I used to get this shot called, I forgot what's the name of it, but it would give me some energy because I didn't have any. Yeah, because when I was going to chemo, frankly speaking, I got tired. But I had to really realize that, the Lord was on my side, and I had to fight. And I was always a person like this. I wasn't always fighting for Cookie. I was always fighting somebody else. My sisters and brothers, my moms and stuff, my cousins and nieces and nephews. I always put them first. And I said, I can't be sick. I got to take care of them. And so that's how I looked at it a lot. It wasn't about my fight. It was about me fighting so I could be available for them. I was happy. It was a bell that you rang.
Yeah.
And I rung the bell, and I was so happy. I said, "Oh, thank you, God. I'm cancer free." And it lasted a long time, and I enjoyed it for a long time because I decided not to take any kind of chemo, any kind of medicine, because I just felt good that I didn't have cancer anymore, and I didn't, but it came back.
And then what happened after you came? What happened after it came back?
I had to go back and do more. I didn't do any more radiation. I had to go back and do this. It was this medicine that they had to inject me in my hip, and I had to do that every month. And that injection would make me hurt so bad, but it would go to the area where the cancer was and fight the cells. So I did that, and it went away. But guess what? It came back. Yeah.
So do you still have it now?
Yes, I do.
Wait, breast cancer or?
No, I have. Myles, the cancer went from breast to breast, from my breast to my hip bone, from my hip bone to my shoulder bone, from my shoulder bone to my lungs. So I was cured of all of that, and it came back on my lungs. So that's what I'm fighting now.
All right, what stage do you have right now?
It's not really a stage. What happened is, it's these little things, cells called nodules, but they are cancer nodules. And if you don't treat them, they could turn out to be full-blown cancer. So I've decided, right now I'm not doing any chemo because the medicine that they were giving me for it had me so sick. I mean, I didn't say anything to anybody, but I was so sick. So I decided to tell the doctor that he needed to do something else. So we are going back Wednesday of next week, and we're going to decide what type of treatment we're going to go do for this cancer that's on my lungs. But like I said, it's not full blown. It's just two nodules, and it's cancerous. And I got to do something before it gets full blown.
Yeah. So as you can see, going through chemotherapy is hard, But this next person that I have went through something a little different. She went through radiation. So although her story may seem a little different, she still had to go through breast cancer, which is really hard.
Wow, I was scared when I first was told that I had breast cancer. Shocked. You always hear about someone else being diagnosed with breast cancer, but never expecting yourself to be diagnosed. So I was shocked and scared. Before treatments or anything like that started, it really didn't affect me because you continue going about your life. The only time when you start really being affected is when you begin treatments, and when I began the radiation. And when I began radiation, that puts a lot of fatigue on you. So that was my main complaint, was fatigue, being tired all the time. No, once I completed my treatments, I still suffer with fatigue a lot, and that's just a side effect of the radiation. Other than that, I'm pretty much back on a regular daily schedule. No, just being prayerful that that the radiation was doing what it was supposed to do, killing all the cancer cells. I think that's your biggest fear, is always just wondering, did it get everything? Excited, but also you're in this little phase almost for the next, especially like this year, and almost up to 5 years, where what they call, you're in some type of like a readmission. So you're constantly, right now I'm in every 3 months having to go and be checked. So that's a little scary at times, because you're always wondering until that test comes back. Tiresome. Usually you have like a set appointment time. You go Monday through Friday. You're not back there long, but it does take a toll on you. And usually by the time when I would finish treatment, I would eat, and that would be it for the rest of the day. I didn't really have much energy to do much else.
I was like, yes!
It is such an elating feeling. You just feel like you have just conquered the world. I mean, it's nothing that compares to that. You're just glad that you have your family member to enjoy the rest of your life with, and it's nothing like it.
After hearing the inspiring news of a loved one overcoming cancer, it was one of the greatest days of my life. I'll never forget it. Don't be fearful. You can win.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you that story. When they did the treatments and we found out that, you know, that you have to go through these treatments and you get to ring the bell and that you've been cured of cancer. And I happened to I was working. I was driving the truck down the road, and I believe Aaron was in town. Yeah, I believe Aaron was in town, and I couldn't make it back in time for the ceremony that they do. And just so happened they videotaped it, and I'm driving down the road, and they sent the video to me, and I'm driving, and I pulled over to the side and flipped my phone, and it just showed me her ringing the bell, and I teared up a little bit, because it was just like I thank God that she was cured of it, and she still had some little small things to go through, but that they got it all, and just prolonged her life. But I teared up that she rung the bell, that she didn't no longer have it. So it made me get a little tender.
It's great. It's great. I'm excited. To me, I just took that as a wake-up call to know that life is short. You cannot just take everything for granted, and just try to be the best me that I can be.
Happy. I'm happy that I overcame cancer 5 times. That's a trip. I mean, it's really a blessing because the cancer that I fight and got over was the cancer that killed my mother and my father. So I'm blessed. But I think you know me, I'm a fighter. I trust God. And whatever I have to go through, I go through. It's going to be okay.
Hello guys, and thank you for watching this short documentary about breast cancer. When I began this project, my original question was, how does breast cancer affect someone and their family? Well, and I feel like I answered this question. The way how it affects the patient is they have to go through rough times, going to doctor's appointments, going through chemotherapy, going through radiation, and just being devastated about the news. And the way how the family is affected is they feel devastated about the news, and they are in a position to where they feel like they have to help the patient go through this disease. So altogether, this condition can just change your whole life. And people don't need to be suffering with this condition. So to give to the Lewis Cancer Research Pavilion, look up Lewis Cancer Research Pavilion and scroll and press make a gift. After that, press honor a caregiver and fill out the information. And remember, if you have been affected by this condition, by all means necessary, don't give up and keep fighting. Thank you.